The Oscars, an honest and fair representation of the year's best performances. Excuse me while I go choke on my own words. While we could not dedicate a Pop 5 on the disconnected, biased, and sometimes scandalous award show, we will try and keep this one civil and focus at the topic at hand. After all, I'm still seething over how Last Night in Soho was snubbed and trying to make sense over how Frances McDormand won Best Actress for Nomadland over Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I just don't get it. It's not like Viola Davis's role wasn't the single best performance for the year. Please come home to me. Or that McDormand just won 3 years prior and was so irresponsible with the honor that the award was stolen from her at the party on the same night. But I digress. Back to the topic at hand. With another stellar year in horror behind us, once again we find that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences have managed to overlook some of the stellar performances within the genre.
Sorry. I never wanted to be a mother. I love the feeling of it growing inside me. I feel that sickness pulling, sucking on me like some needy animal in a barn.
Something that has been commonplace for nearly 100 years of the award show's existence. I mean, how does The Bride of Frankenstein only get nominated for Best Sound? Probably the single best film in the genre. Was the Academy still watching silent pictures at the time? To date, the genre has won 29 awards, only one of those being Best Picture. There are 5 horror films with multiple awards that you may never have,
or probably,
heard of.
Number 5. 1974's The Exorcist was nominated for 10 Academy Awards, and they were Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, Best Writing, Screenplay based on material from another medium, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction and Set Direction. Ellen Burstyn was nominated for Best Actress, Jason Miller was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Linda Blair was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and William Peter Blatty received the nod for Best Director. The Exorcist only won in 2 categories, Best Sound and Best Writing, Screenplay based on a material from another medium. It lost Best Picture to The Sting, starring Robert Redford and Paul Newman, a movie about 2 men who plot an elaborate con scheme against a crime boss. William Peter Blatty lost Best Director to George Roy Hill for The Sting. Ellen Burstyn lost Best Actress to Glenda Jackson for A Touch of Class. Linda Blair lost Best Supporting Actress to Tatum O'Neal for Paper Moon. Jason Miller lost Best Supporting Actor to John Houseman for The Paper Chase. Number 4.
Aliens was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, and they were Best Effects, Sound Effects Editing, Best Effects Visual Effects, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, Best Art Direction, Set Direction, Best Music, Original Score. And Sigourney Weaver was nominated for Best Actress. Aliens only won in 2 categories, Best Effects, Sound Effects Editing, and Best Effects Visual Effects. Sigourney Weaver lost Best Actress to Marlee Matlin for Children of a Lesser God, who is the first deaf actress to win an Oscar. The other actresses nominated for Best Actress that year, Jane Fonda for The Morning After, Sissy Spacek for Crimes of the Heart, and Kathleen Turner for Peggy Sue Got Married.
Number 3. Jaws was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, and they were Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, Best Music, and Original Score, Dramatic Score. Jaws won 3 out of the 4 nominations. Losing only Best Picture to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, starring Jack Nicholson, who plays Randall Patrick Murphy, a prisoner sent to a mental institution evaluation where he is confronted by Nurse Ratched, who rules over the ward through medication and electroshock therapy. Other pictures nominated that year were Dog Day Afternoon, starring Al Pacino, which is based on a real story about a bank robbery that turns into a hostage situation and a media circus that they struggle to maintain control of.
Nobody move! Get over there! Okay.
Barry Lyndon, a period rags to riches story adapted from a novel following Barry as he attempts to secure his future by marrying a wealthy woman. And Nashville, an anthology following a lawyer whose marriage is on the rocks, a gospel singer and her rivals. Number 2.
1993's Academy Awards saw Bram Stoker's Dracula nominated for 4 Academy Awards, and they were Best Effects, Sound Effects Editing, Best Makeup, Best Costume Design, and Best Art Direction, Set Direction. Dracula only failed to win 1, which was Best Art Direction, Set Direction. Dracula features tremendous performances by Gary Oldman, who plays Dracula, and Anthony Hopkins, who plays Van Helsing. You may be wondering why they were not nominated for Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor that year. Best Actor nominations that year were stacked. The nominees were Al Pacino for Ascent of a Woman, Robert Downey Jr. for Chaplin, Clint Eastwood for Unforgiven, and Stephen Ray for The Crying Game. Also, Denzel Washington for Malcolm X. Al Pacino won that year. Best Supporting Actor nominations that year were Gene Hackman for Unforgiven, J.A. Davidson for The Crying Game, Jack Nicholson for A Few Good Men, Al Pacino once again for Glengarry Glen Ross, and David Paymer for Mr. Saturday Night, with Gene Hackman getting the win.
Number 1. Silence of the Lambs was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, and they were Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, Best Writing, Screenplay based on material previously produced or published. Anthony Hopkins was nominated for Best Actor, Jodie Foster was nominated for Best Actress, and Jonathan Demme received the nod for Best Director. The Silence of the Lambs won 5 of the nominations, losing Best Sound to Terminator 2 Judgment Day and Best Film Editing to JFK. The Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture against Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Bugsy, a movie about New York mobster Bugsy Siegel, leaving to create the gambling capital of the country, Las Vegas. Oliver Stone's JFK, which was about the investigation into the Kennedy assassination, and The Prince of Tides, which was about a psychiatrist who falls for an emotionally scarred woman played by Barbra Streisand. Anthony Hopkins faced stiff competition in his win, beating out Warren Beatty, Bugsy, Robert De Niro, Cape Fear, Nick Nolte, The Prince of Tides, and Robin Williams, Fisher King. Jodie Foster beat Bette Midler for The Boys, Laura Dern, Rambling Rose, Susan Sarandon, and Gina Davis for Thelma and Louise.
How many different categories have Best Sound? It's like, okay, let's just make a Best Sound, and then let's make a Best Sound with Best Film Editing. Let's make a Best Sound for Soundtrack. I never really pay attention to
Neither did I.
all of these awards, and as I was writing up this list, is like, wow, Best Editing for a Screenplay is like, how many different ways can you say the same thing?
And I guess when we used to watch the award shows, because we don't anymore, maybe I just blocked all those out, because obviously they would have said them. I really only remembering best sound, blah blah blah. I didn't realize that there was like
Way
best
too
sound
many
for
best sounds.
Yeah, why are there so many categories just for best sound? I don't know. I guess to them it makes sense. To me, I just don't care.
Yeah, I'm
good with like best soundtrack. That works because I like soundtracks for movies.
Well, yeah, musical score should.
Yeah.
They have a category.
Well, I know, but then why are there so many others? Like, give me a break. There doesn't need to be so many. Not everyone can be a winner. Haven't learned this by now?
Yeah. So one of the reasons why we do not watch the Academy Awards is because The Last Night in Soho was snubbed, and that really pissed me off. And there was a lot of great movies that came out that year that were just kind of overlooked. And then the whole Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with Viola Davis not winning the award, that really just aggravated me. Because Nomadland,
Yeah.
it wasn't Best Picture worthy.
Listen, that movie just sucked. I've liked Frances McDormand in other movies. I liked her in 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Mississippi, or whatever it was. Missouri, whatever.
I remembered.
I liked her in that role. I thought she was really good. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. She's not. But Nomadland just wasn't a good movie. It was just blah. Like, it wasn't good. And Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was amazing. And Viola Davis is amazing. We love her. I mean, she is a phenomenal actress in every role she plays.
Yeah, and it's a little bit disappointing, as we all know as horror fans, that you only have one Best Picture being Silence of the Lambs. Like, The Shining, people, hello, come on. That should have been Best Picture.
And not for nothing, but The Silence of the Lambs wouldn't be the one that we would pick.
Yeah. And
I know, a lot of people love it. I'm so sorry. We just don't.
Yeah, you look at a lot of these films that get nominated and win Best Picture. How many people still go back? It's like, oh man, the movie Crash. It was so good. I'm gonna watch it every single year. Let's have a Crash convention. Let's go and meet the cast of Crash. It doesn't happen, right? So,
I did like that movie, but I only saw it once.
Yes, that was like a one and done. It was good.
It was
not
good.
Something to watch over and over
Yeah,
again.
but there's not a reason to go back and watch it over and over. I mean, you got it, right? All the stories intertwined, they link together, and then it was over. Like, that's it.
Like, out of all these films and actors and actresses that we went over that were nominated, yeah, Peggy Sue Got Married was a little surprising. I was like, really?
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, really? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love music from the 50s and 60s. I grew up listening to it. You know, my mom would blast it on Saturdays when she's cleaning the house. I love that music, and I loved Peggy Sue Got Married. But I don't think it needed any awards or any nominations. It just didn't. It wasn't that kind of a movie. I mean, it wasn't like anything to write home about.
And yet, horror gets ignored. Anyway, what films should have won in the horror genre, or have at least been recognized and nominated for their performances? I know a lot of people this year were talking about Mia Goth being ignored for her performance in Pearl, because she had that long monologue that you missed in the middle of the film that was just really good.
Did I fall asleep?
No, you went to the bathroom.
Oh, I'm glad I missed it.
It was actually really good. It's probably the best part of the entire film.
I don't like Mia Goth.
Let us know by dropping in the comments. And what do you think of the movies that won? Did they really deserve it? As always, thank you for watching our videos. We appreciate it. Don't forget, it is the quest for 5,000 subscribers, and we're giving away a bunch of prizes along the way now. We've added the Scream Popcorn Bucket. Once we hit 4,000 subscribers, we will send that out. And we are possibly going to be adding some Scream Cups.
Well, I ordered them.
He ain't here yet, so...
They're not here yet, so, but I mean, you know, when they get here, if we haven't hit a goal, then they will go out with that too. And it's a 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
You get the bloody Ghostface and the non-bloody Ghostface.
Yes. And once we hit 5,000 subscribers, you'll have a chance to win a box of Strawberries and Scream cereal signed by Matthew Lillard,
David Arquette,
and possibly
Rose McGowan.
Yes. Once that signature is on there, we will start saying, yep, she is on it.
Yes.
Anyway, until the next Pop 5.
See ya.